The president is joining forces with European allies by kicking most Russian banks out of SWIFT, an international banking messaging system that makes global transactions easier. New sanctions will also target Russia's central bank, and allies are beginning to target Russian oligarchs with ties to Putin who shield his wealth in offshore accounts.
Russian planes and private jets from oligarchs can no longer fly over dozens of countries. The European Union and Canada are banning the flights from their airspace. Air France also just announced that it has suspended service from Russia.
Yeah, that's right. They're cutting off banking, they're arming their enemies, and on top of that, airlines are stopping flights to and from Russia, which, in my opinion, might be one of the worst things. Because, I mean, the best part about going to Russia is that you can fly out of Russia. Now they don't even have that. And if there's one thing that tells you how big these sanctions are, it's that the Swiss have gotten involved. Like, you understand how big that is, right? The Swiss don't get involved in anything. Anything. The Swiss don't get involved in war. They don't get involved in alliances. My dad didn't get involved in my life. I would ask him to hug me, and he'd tell me that his official policy was to stay neutral. I mean, think about it. Think about this for a moment. Putin's move is so crazy that Germany is like, it's time for us as Germany to rebuild our military. And the world is like, yeah, I hope. Now, beyond all the blocking flights and arming Ukraine, one of the biggest moves that Europe and America are taking right now is cutting Russia off of SWIFT, right? Which is huge, Like, we're talking no folklore, no 1989, not even the short version of All Too Well, which, I'm sorry, what? Oh, it's a different SWIFT. Oh, it's an international banking system that verifies transactions across the globe. Oh. Well, I mean, they should probably change their name, because that's confusing, you know? Anyway, what Russia has done has gotten the world so riled up that it's not just the governments that are responding to this war. No, everyone around the world is finding their own way to show Putin that he's an asshole.
Major news from the sports world. The World Soccer Organization, FIFA, is banning Russian teams from all of their games. The organization issuing a statement today banning Russian clubs and national teams from all competition until further notice. FIFA says it stands in, quote, full solidarity with all of the people affected in Ukraine.
The European Broadcasting Union has banned Russia from participating in this year's Eurovision Song Contest.
And back here at home, several governors around the United States are asking stores to pull Russian products off their shelves. A restaurant in Las Vegas went out in the street and poured all of their bottles of Russian vodka out onto the street. They'll be offering Ukrainian vodka instead.
Formula One dropped the Russian Grand Prix from the season's racing calendar. And the International Olympic Committee also urging sports federations to move or cancel their events in Russia and Belarus.
And the International Judo Federation suspending Putin's status as honorary president and ambassador of the federation.
Yeah, no World Cup for Putin, no Eurovision Song Contest for Putin, no more being president of the International Judo Federation, and in case you're wondering, yes, he will no longer be allowed to host this year's Oscars, which I was kind of looking forward to. It's going to be interesting. Now, I know a lot of people out there are wondering, they're like, oh man, who cares? I mean, they're having their economy destroyed. Who cares if people are pouring out vodka? Who cares if... But people, this actually makes a difference, right? South Africa had sanctions on it, which was really bad back in the day during apartheid. But it was the collective idea around the world that people were not for what was happening that sort of spurred a lot of the change. And don't forget, oftentimes in life, it's the little things that hurt the most. You think they're small, but they get to you. You know? Like, think of it this way. Would you rather be shot or blocked by your ex?